The knife! The knife! It was utterly stupid to blame the carver for what she'd done, but Jillian couldn't help but feel the knife was the last terrible if in a list that led to murder. If she'd had the full cab fare and not had to run the last mile back to Larches from her dawn trip to the docks to bid her ocean-bound brother farewell, if the kitchen hadn't been so frantic that cook sent her, maid's apron in hand, straight back to the yard to retrieve the carver from the sharpening man at his wheel, if she hadn't returned with the knife by the scullery passage where she ran smack into the master, if she'd been one of the other maids, not the one Sir Hubert had been trying to get his hands on for a year, if, when he attacked her, she'd not been wild with fear and blindly slashed out with the knife, but she had. When Ada came upon her and the dying man, she'd grabbed Jillian's hand and her apron without a word and towed her away at a run. The carving knife, a third fugitive from the scene, was still in Jillian's other hand. "Lucky for us," Ada said later, since otherwise they'd have had no resources at all. Jillian started violently at a heavy thump from outside the shed. Since nothing followed it, the noise didn't herald a copper bashing his way in. Didn't mean one wasn't considering it from a stone's throw away, watching two rain-soaked women in maids' dresses coming and going for no good reason. Minutes ticked by while her fear built upon itself in layers, a macabre trifle of possibilities. Capture, trial, notoriety, imprisonment, the noose. She sneezed into her sleeve, adding another layer. Death by pneumonia. How long had her friend been gone? 5 minutes? 50? Ada said to wait. She was selling the knife, the murder weapon, you hapless ninny, and disposing of the apron, so Jillian waited, wrapping her skirts around her legs and shivering. There was nothing else to do, unless she threw herself into the Thames.